Welcome to another video, and we're looking at question 1 of the 2015 GCSE ICT paper, and I just want to go through some of the questions and answers to help you. So what we've got here is a scenario. We've got a question about desktop computers and the usual sort of format of providing 4 different options and about sort of 5 different specs per option, and you do need to know in your revision, you do need to know about these areas and what they mean. So Sarah wants a new desktop computer. Which one of these has the most RAM? So RAM stands for random access memory. So we've got 512 megabyte, 6 gigabytes, 1 gigabyte, and 8 gigabyte. Okay, so those are the different RAMs. So what is the answer? Well, the obvious answer is D, because obviously megabytes is more than gigabytes in terms of storage, and in terms of memory storage, sorry, and 8 gig is the biggest one. Number 2, which one of these computers would allow Sarah to store her photographs on an optical disc? Okay, which one would allow Sarah to store photographs on an optical disc? Okay, have a go at that. The answer is A, obviously, because if we look at media support, we've got DVD. We know that CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays are optical devices, and they store their media on optical discs through an optical drive. So DVD, and the rest of them are memory card, SD card, and the one down the bottom C is none. So it's A. Next one, which one of these computers provides the highest quality video output? Sorry, so video output. So we're looking at the video output option. Now this is talking about resolution, okay, which is basically how many pixels are on the screen. 1024 pixels by 768, and then we've got 1600, and then we've got 1920, and then 2560 by 1440. So the highest quality, because there's more pixels, okay, it's going to mean that the image is clearer. I don't know if you've ever put your face up to a computer screen or a TV really close. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have, I did it when I was a child, you've noticed it starts getting blurry, and you see like squares, little squares, and those are pixels. Okay, so the more of you have those, the higher quality. So it's D again. Next question. Sarah's current computer has low screen resolution. Okay, so she's got a monitor that has a low screen resolution. State one health risk of using a computer with a low screen resolution. So if you, again, when you're doing these exam questions, put yourself just momentarily into that sort of scenario. One, so it's low quality, it's not many pixels, okay, and you imagine looking at it. Okay, one health risk, what's that going to do? Okay, have a think. Well, obviously you're going to get eye strain, because you're going to go, what does that say? And you're constantly looking at a screen, just sort of squinting and all that sort of stuff. You get eye strain, eye damage, possibly, or possible headaches. Okay, you can't put eye damage. You need something like strain, or the word sight. So look at these additional guidance. Okay. Whoops, what about that? C. Sarah uses her computer to edit a photograph. Okay, so yeah, she's going to be using some sort of software, isn't she? She upgrades this graphics card, okay, to improve the screen resolution of her computer. List 2 other features that could be upgraded to make it easier to edit photos. Okay, so what other 2 features? And we're talking about a computer here, aren't we? And this is a list question. Oh, giving you the answer there. Boo. Okay, have a think about that one. Okay, and the answer, well, it could be all sorts of things. So faster processor, because then the images are going to process and render easily. RAM, because that makes the computer go fast along with the processor. Motherboard, storage, optical drive, monitor screen. Okay, could be upgraded, getting a better mouse, like this one of those rollerballs or one of those sort of graphic pens. Okay, maybe the user interface is a very old and clunky, operating system. You could put in additional software, so you could upgrade from, say, Microsoft Paint to, I don't know, Photoshop. So to Adobe Photoshop. All right. So just really think about, imagine yourself, if you're trying to improve it, what would you do? Okay. Next one, which one of these peripheral devices that can be used to edit a photograph? Memory card, mouse, printer, and USB port. Okay, which one of these peripheral devices? Okay, why do I keep going back? Sorry about that. Answer is obviously B, because that's the only. Well, there's two, isn't there? There's an input, okay, and an output. The other two are not peripheral devices. Okay, so we know input and output devices. So printers and output, mouse input. Which one of these peripheral could be used to edit? We can't edit a photograph with a printer because that's a bit silly. But with a mouse, obviously, you could use that to edit a photograph. So quite straightforward. List letter D. List 3 wired methods of connecting a peripheral device to a computer. Okay, so again, this is 3 marks. There's quite a lot of marks here. So wired methods. So it's going to be actually some sort of cable to connect a peripheral device to a computer. So let's think. And again, when you're in the exam, think of a scenario. Say you're in TC7. You've got a computer, okay, and you want to connect it to a peripheral device. So what peripheral device could it be? Let's go obvious, printer. Okay, how could you connect a peripheral device to a computer? So what cable would go where? Okay, or what options have you got? Have a think. So it's not wireless, it's wired, it's physical cable. What different cables, okay, could we use? Have a think. Okay, well, we've got a USB, you could have a USB cable, FireWire, okay, an Ethernet cable, because that's how your computer in TC7 is connected. It's connected by a network cable. That network cable goes down to the switch in the corner of the room, and then that gets routed by another wire to the printer. Okay, might be another auxiliary cable, so maybe it's a speakers and multimedia system, so it could be another cable, Thunderbolt, Lightning. It could be all sorts of different old type of cables, like serial parallel cables we don't come across. VGA cables, okay, those are the cables, but so maybe it's a monitor. Okay, it didn't specify what peripheral device, so maybe it's a monitor, which is an output device. Those are like the leads with like the blue end with pins on them that go into the back of monitors. HDMI cables and other ones as well. Okay, so you really need to make sure that you know at least 5 or 6 of these, because they'll probably come up in the exam. Give one disadvantage of storing photographs locally than rather than online. Okay, so what will be the let's again break it down. So what will be the advantage of storing it on a PC, or storing it on a PC and Dropbox, something like that, or storing it on OneDrive? What's the disadvantage of storing it locally on a computer? Have a think about that. Well, the disadvantages locally than online. You've got limited storage. You might not have a lot of storage online. You may do, offline on your computer. There's obviously more storage online. Okay. There's no remote access, the obvious one. So if I have it on one PC, okay, and I leave it in TC7, it's not connected. If I want to, then I go on holiday to Wales, meet some family. Could I show it to them? No. But if I had it on my Dropbox, I could just go on my tablet or my phone and bring that up, and it would be there. Also, the obvious one as well, if you damage that computer or had it stolen or whatever, it'd be gone. Okay. F. Sarah uses a router in her studio. state the purpose of a router. Okay, so a router is basically, if you imagine if you've got internet at home and you've got your Sky router, your Sky box, your BT box, or whatever. Okay, imagine Sarah using a router in her studio. What would a router do? Think about what it does in your home. Okay, what does a router, what's the functionality of that box that flashes sometimes? Answer, well, it directs data and network traffic. Okay, so maybe you've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 devices. What's your network, what's your wireless ID? You're all connected in. Well, the router's being the clever bit and saying, right, okay, that bit of internet's going there, that bit, because if you just had one, everyone would be surfing the same thing, wouldn't they? But it's separate, isn't it? So if I went onto your home router with my phone, my smartphone, I wouldn't get the same, internet. So it'd be different based on my device. It also allows devices to share an internet, which I was just talking about, provide internet access, okay, and share data, okay. Again, password one, I think most people got this one in the mock, but again, Sarah used a password to access a router. Give 2 features of a strong password. Okay, and you really need to be very careful on this one. Okay, as you'll see, have a think about that one, because you really can't just say number 1 numbers, number 2 letters, because as you see here, they don't accept that. Okay, so a mix of numbers of letters is fine. A mix of case, a mix of special characters, not a common word, not a word linked to Sarah. So go to town on that, okay? And that's the end of the 2015 question 1. Thanks for watching.